They called me nosy and threw me out. My sister said, "You're not family." Dad stayed silent until I found Mom's hidden will behind his bookshelf, and their lies collapsed at her memorial. When my mother died, everyone expected me to quietly accept whatever my father and older sister decided. I had always been the good daughter, the one who visited Mom every weekend, the one who drove her to chemotherapy, the one who slept beside her hospital bed while everyone else claimed they were too busy. But somehow, the moment Mom was gone, I became the problem. The family began treating me like an unwanted stranger inside the very house where I grew up. Every time I asked a simple question, what happened to Mom's jewelry? Why was her office locked? Why are the bank statements missing? My sister, Emily, rolled her eyes. There you go again. So nosy. Always trying to create drama. Dad never defended me. He simply stared at the television as if none of it concerned him. Weeks later, Emily finally exploded. "If you don't trust us, leave. You were never really part of this family anyway." Those words didn't just hurt. They shattered something inside me. Dad lowered his head and said absolutely nothing. That silence hurt more than the insult. I packed a single suitcase. As I walked toward the front door, I looked back one last time. Neither of them tried to stop me. Neither of them asked where I was going. The house that had once been filled with birthday parties, Christmas mornings, and Mom's laughter suddenly felt colder than a cemetery. 4 months, I struggled. Tiny apartment. 2 jobs. Bills piling higher every week. While Emily posted smiling family pictures online from the house Mom had spent 30 years building, according to everyone, I had become the greedy daughter, the selfish one, the troublemaker. Friends stopped calling. Relatives whispered behind my back. Even neighbors believed Emily's version of the story. Apparently, I had been kicked out because I only cared about money. But the truth couldn't have been further from reality. I missed my mother every single day. I didn't want her house. I didn't even want her savings. I just wanted honesty. Then, one rainy afternoon, everything changed. I received an unexpected phone call from Mom's lifelong friend Margaret. "There may be something your mother wanted you to have." My heart stopped. Margaret explained that a week before Mom died, she had mentioned hiding something important. Not in a bank. Not in a lawyer's office. Inside the house. Somewhere no one would ever think to look. A place connected to Dad's favorite hobby. Books. That single sentence haunted me. Could Mom have hidden something? Or was grief making desperate people believe impossible stories? I almost ignored it. But curiosity wouldn't let me rest. A few days later, I waited until I knew Dad and Emily would be attending church, using the emergency key Mom had secretly given me years earlier, just in case. I quietly entered the old house. Walking through those familiar rooms felt like stepping into another lifetime. Everything smelled the same. Mom's perfume still lingered in the hallway. Her favorite blanket still rested on the couch. But something else had changed. Several framed family photos no longer included me. Emily had literally replaced them, as though I had never existed. That hurt. But I kept searching. The library. Hundreds of books. Shelves covering every wall. Hours passed. Nothing. Until one shelf felt strangely loose. Behind several old history books. My fingers touched a small metal box taped inside the cabinet. Inside, a sealed envelope. My mother's handwriting covered the front. "If you're reading this, they didn't tell you the truth." I couldn't breathe. Hands shaking. I opened it. Inside was something no one expected to exist. Mom's original will. Not a copy. Not notes. The legally signed original. Along with handwritten letters, bank documents, medical records, and pages explaining everything. The version Dad and Emily had submitted after her death wasn't the one she had signed months earlier. The real will divided everything equally. But it wasn't even about the money. The letters revealed years of manipulation. Emily had been pressuring Mom while she was sick, demanding control of the estate, threatening to stop helping unless she received the house. Dad had known. He hadn't started the betrayal, but he had chosen silence because confronting Emily seemed Too exhausting. Mom wrote something that made me cry harder than I ever had. If your father stays silent, remember this: silence protects the liar, never the victim. For the first time, I realized Mom had seen everything. She knew exactly what would happen after she died. She had simply run out of time. Her final wish wasn't revenge. It was truth. She wrote, "Don't hate them. Just let the truth speak for itself." I contacted the attorney whose signature appeared on the documents. He looked shocked. The original file had mysteriously disappeared from his office shortly after Mom passed away. He immediately reopened the case. Within days, court notices were sent. Emily panicked. Dad refused to answer my calls. Relatives suddenly remembered my phone number. Everyone wanted to hear both sides. Funny, no one wanted both sides before. The hearing lasted only a few hours. Handwriting experts verified Mom's signatures. The attorney confirmed the timeline. Digital records proved the newer documents had been created after Mom's death. Emily's carefully constructed story collapsed. She had forged paperwork, hidden assets, leaked to relatives, and convinced Dad to remain silent. Dad finally admitted under oath that he had suspected something wasn't right. The courtroom became painfully quiet. The judge looked directly at him. "You didn't commit the fraud, but your silence allowed it to continue." Those words destroyed him. The legal consequences were severe. Emily lost control of the estate. Criminal investigations followed. The forged documents became evidence. Relatives who once criticized me now apologized. Some sincerely, others only because they had backed the wrong person. None of it erased the loneliness I had lived through. Months later came Mom's memorial service. Nearly everyone attended. Friends, neighbors, extended family. Emily expected a respectful ceremony. Instead, Mom's attorney stood before everyone, with permission granted in her original instructions. He read her final letter aloud. Every sentence peeled away another layer of deception. She thanked me for caring when others were tired. She thanked the nurses. She thanked Margaret. She even forgave Emily. But she also wrote this: "Love without honesty is only performance." People began looking at Emily differently. Then, Dad, for the first time in years, he stood up in front of everyone, voice trembling. "I failed my wife. I failed my daughter. I thought silence would keep the family together. Instead, it destroyed it." No one spoke. The room felt frozen, exactly as Mom predicted. Not because people witnessed anger, because they witnessed truth. After the service, Dad approached me. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He simply handed me Mom's wedding ring. "The lawyer said she wanted you to have this." I held it carefully, not because it was valuable, because it represented the only promise Mom had managed to keep. Years passed. The inheritance helped me be you. Why a small home? I created a scholarship in Mom's name for young women studying nursing, the career she had always admired. Dad spent the rest of his life quietly volunteering at the cancer center where Mom had received treatment. He never fully forgave himself. Emily eventually served her legal penalties and disappeared from the family's social circle. People often ask whether justice brought me happiness. It didn't. Justice didn't bring Mom back. It didn't erase the nights I cried alone. It didn't undo the words, "You're not family." But it gave me something even more valuable. Freedom. Freedom from lies. Freedom from guilt that never belonged to me. Freedom to remember my mother exactly as she truly was. The greatest karma wasn't that Emily lost the house. It wasn't that the court exposed every lie. It was that my mother's truth survived long after every deception had fallen apart. Because lies can inherit property, but they can never inherit peace. And in the end, the daughter they called Nosy wasn't destroying the family. She was the only one still trying to save it.